Skool is a sick platform. I honestly think it's the perfect place for a small YouTuber to host a community and make money. It's easy to post. It's easy to comment. There's a classroom section for extra tutorials or courses. You can schedule and host live video calls. There are a few different monetization options for you to choose from, and lots of analytics to help you understand exactly what's going on. But what good is all of that if you can't keep your members happy? The rest of this video is going to explain around 12 different things that I do as a community owner to make the user experience as smooth and rewarding as possible. If you're new here, my name is Nolan. I've ran an AI-focused community since November of 2024. We've grown to over 400 members with lots of daily active users, and here is what I think contributed to the success. First, I think I set proper expectations on the About page before they signed up. I offered a generous annual discount once they chose to sign up. After they've joined, they are greeted with a direct message encouraging them to introduce themselves. And in that first message, there is also a link to a video tour showing them around the group. On the daily community side of things, I've kept different categories as simple as possible, so people aren't confused about where or what to post. I've shown up every day to make sure to reward high quality contributions by pinning those posts to the top of the main feed. And in addition to that, I've made sure the best content is easy to find in the future by creating a specific place in the classroom for those posts to live. Now, if you want to see exactly how to do this yourself, I'll go over each step during the rest of this video. Timestamps are below if you want to skip around, but let's start at the very beginning. When a random person lands on your About page for the first time, what do they see? This is your one and only chance to prime their expectations. The graphics on your About page. There are 3 specific things that I recommend you have. We can upload some graphics here at the top, right? You can attach a picture or a video, and I think you should include at least one video here. But what kind of video? Not necessarily a step-by-step tour, but I think it's important to literally show people what Skool looks like on the inside. If they've never joined before and they have no idea what they're getting into, remove the uncertainty for them. Show them what the website looks like when they're a member. Show them the different things they'll have access to. You can definitely make this as long as you want. Like, don't let me stop you from going in depth and answering any questions they may have, but I'm saying, at least, make sure you introduce them to the platform. Remember, prime their expectations, like a trailer for a movie. In addition to that video, I think you should create some other graphics. A website like Canva is great for this, that's what I use, and you can use these graphics to show a testimonial or a review, nice things that have been said about you. Maybe even create a slide for frequently asked questions. I actually haven't done that yet, but it's been on my list of things to improve. Take note of the most common questions you receive and answer them before new people feel the need to ask. Now, below your graphics, you'll have a space to write your copy, the words you'll use to describe what your community is all about. This video isn't really about how to write better copy, but I can just say, keep it as simple as possible, alright? But the real tip I have for you is how to add this kind of formatting I have right here. Like, when you try this, you'll see there is no way to bold your words. So how did I do this? With the help of this website here, yaytext.com. You type in your plain text and then you can copy out the new formatting, and it keeps that new formatting on Skool. There aren't that many usable options, but it's a great way to lead the eye of your viewer to the most important information. And if any of these tips have helped you out at all, please leave a like on this video. It would really mean a lot to me. And subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more help in the future. And pick up my free gear guide in the description below if you want to know how I create my videos, like the actual equipment that goes into all of this. Alright, let's talk about your pricing options. No matter how you choose to monetize your group, I think you should offer an extremely generous discount for an annual subscription. Skool has a note saying customers expect a 20% discount, but I think you could stand out with a 40 or 50% or 60% discount, especially if you're a smaller channel. I think the benefits of having members stick around for a whole year far outweigh the money you risk losing because there is no guarantee they stick around for more than a few months. A big, generous discount on the annual price is a win-win for both of you. In the last month, I've switched to a lifetime offer, but in the previous year, I used around a 57% discount. I mean, you can change your price often, so I worked my way up to $29 a month or $149 for the full year. If people want to come hang out for a month, that's great. If people think they're going to stay for more than a few months, then the annual discount is a no-brainer. Try to create an offer that is such a good deal that your audience would feel silly for not engaging with. If you're a small channel, make it obvious for them to join when it comes to price. All right, let's pretend people are paying to come to your party. How are you going to treat them once they're inside? We can use one of the available plugins to make sure our newest members feel seen and welcomed. Go into your settings, then plugins, and look for auto DM new members. It's pretty straightforward, but I want you to use this message to redirect them somewhere specific, like when they join the party, where are they supposed to go? The first steps in an unknown location are important, and you need to be their guide. Here is exactly what I've done. I've made a post explaining how to navigate the group, and I linked them right to it. This video is where you get to demonstrate your hospitality. Show them around room by room. Help them get comfortable. Back in the welcome message, I also linked to a second post encouraging people to introduce themselves. This is an easy way to foster some participation. It honestly worked way better than I thought it would. Look at all these comments, and look what I did here. I started with writing an introduction myself. Be the leader. Lead by example. And one more tip for the auto DM. You should take advantage of these dynamic tags they have. I keep it simple and I use them in the first sentence. You'll also notice there is a 300 character limit. I think this is a good thing. It will keep you from writing an essay, all right? We don't want to overwhelm anyone. Just welcome them and show them where to go next. And okay, people have joined. They're getting comfortable. Here are some tips to help make their lives easier on the day-to-day side of things. Categories. We want to keep the community experience as simple as possible. And you can do this by curating the different categories of posts that appear on the inside of your group. Like for those of you who don't have a community yet, you can create different categories that people can post under. Like let's pretend you ran a group about movies. You could have a category for horror movies and one for adventure. You know what I mean? Anyways, when I first started, my categories were all over the place. I didn't think they were confusing, but they definitely weren't as simple as they could be. So I want you to look at what I have now. Styles, gems, help, production, and news. I made a post explaining these for sure, but they also should be self-explanatory. To some extent. That's where the emojis also play a role. Just remember that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Emojis can help narrow the focus of the titles and make it easier to understand what the category is meant for. And one extra tip is to keep the actual number of categories to as little as possible. Because at a certain point, if you have too many or if the names are too long, they get folded under each other and you would have to click a button to expand and see the rest. I don't think you want that. Keep the number of categories small so that they line up neatly at the top of the page. Now I have 5 more distinct tips that I think will help you out in the long term. This next one might sound boring, but it's simple. You gotta show up, like every day. Be active in your community and people will follow your lead. And I'm not even referring to posting things yourself all the time. I think your activity in the comments is more important than that. Engage with the things other people post and make them feel seen. And the next tip is to then double down on that path by pinning the best quality posts so that everyone can see them at the top of the main page. You can click the ellipses at the top right and pin to the feed. I don't usually keep a post pinned for more than 24 hours, but I try to always have 2 or 3 highlighted. I think this encourages thoughtful behavior from your members and is a clear signal that their contributions are seen and appreciated. The next tip is to double down even further on what we've been talking about. That idea of appreciation by creating a space in the classroom for all of the best posts to live. And you'll see here that I have a course called Community Styles. And then inside are all of the posts that I thought stood out. I'll show you a live example of how to do this yourself. Let's find a post that would be cool to document. How about the one I just pinned to the feed? I'm going to copy the title, go into the classroom. I have this folder here in Community Styles. I'm going to click on the ellipses and I'm going to add a page in the folder. On this new page, I'm going to click edit and I'm going to paste the title that I had copied to my clipboard. We are going to save it as a blank page and then back on the post itself, We're going to click on the ellipses and then click pin to course page. And then I'm simply going to paste the name of the title again so that it searches for it and pops up here. Click to confirm it. And now that post is saved in a place for people to browse through in the future. You want new members to feel like they won't miss out on the best stuff from the past. This is how you do it. And as you can see, I have quite a bit of posts for people to search through. Okay, 2 more small tips that will help keep things clean in your community. There is another plugin that I want you to use. It's called Links. And all it does is allow you to display a link under your community banner on the right side. You could literally link to anything, maybe a store, maybe a social media of yours. But I want you to link to a very specific type of post, okay? A post I called Key Links, where all of my announcements live. I'll show you exactly what kind of announcements I'm referring to. These are things that I don't want my members to miss, but I also don't want to clog up the community feed with pinned posts that are months old. Like clicking on this will take you to the post where we introduce ourselves. Here's the latest mood board pack that my members can download. Here's a link to my new course, and something like a showcase thread if you want to show off your art. Those are the kind of announcements that I don't want people to miss. But here is the final tip: how to create these hyperlinks so that when you want to link to something, instead of pasting a long URL, you can have the link live inside of whatever words you write. It's really easy to do this. You know what? Let's make a new post. We'll say, hey, this is where you can find the key links. Start by writing whatever you want the title to be. Then you want to copy the link you want to redirect to, go back to your text and highlight the title you wrote. Then all you have to do is paste using Control V or Command V. Now those words are attached to that link. So instead of skool.com/FTA/keylinks, you simply have whatever title you would rather them see. This is way better. It keeps things way more clean. Easy to do. You gotta do this. I have one last extra bonus tip for you, but I promise you're going to need to use this. If you link to a YouTube video on Skool, there is a chance if someone watches that their view won't count on YouTube itself. And if you're a small channel, you're going to want every view that you can get your hands on. So how do we fix this? Luckily, there is a way. If I make a new post and I want to add a link to a video, I paste the link here and it looks normal, youtube.com. At the end of this link, I need to put the and symbol and then the word views. Now, if someone clicks on that video, YouTube will record that view. If you don't put and views, it's not going to get recorded. So this is definitely extra bonus, pretty niche, but pretty important to some people. But I hope you haven't clicked away yet because there's one extra thing you might need to do. If you go to post your link and it looks like this instead, a shortened link where it's tu.be instead, what you need to do is put a question mark at the end and then the word views. I know that's kind of random, kind of hard to remember. If it's a regular YouTube link, youtube.com, you put and views at the end. If it's the shortened link with tu.be, you put question mark views at the end. I want to make sure all your views count. This is how you do it. If you do have a YouTube channel and you want to increase your views, I have this video here going over the real analytics behind the scenes that matter the most. All right, GG's pal. Good seeing you. Take it easy.